CNBC TV18 and Root Mobile present TED Talks, Navigating Digital Transformation.
Hello and welcome to CNBC TV18 and Root Mobile present Tech Talks, Navigating Digital Transformation. Now, this is an enlightening interview series featuring experts from Root Mobile, a leading communication platform as a service or CPaaS provider. Now, this comprehensive series will delve into the transformative impact of CPaaS solutions, digital fraud prevention, the power of omnichannel communication strategies, and more. Today, I'm joined by Milind Pathak, Group Chief Business Officer at Root Mobile, and he heads the new age solutions, development and sales business, including CPaaS, Omnichannel Solutions, and Chatbot. And today, he joins us to share insights on building brand loyalty through omnichannel communication. Milind, great to have you with us and looking forward to hearing your thoughts.
Thank you very much, Gautam. Great to be around here.
Absolutely. Let's start with how does an effective omnichannel communication strategy contribute to building and strengthening brand loyalty for a lot of the customers that you work with? And can you provide some examples of businesses that have done this right?
If you look at communication as a space, it has not only been present today, but it's been there since the time humans were born, right? The need of one human to communicate with another. Over a period of time, that has got extended, and now every enterprise wants to communicate with the consumer of his own, right? There are 3-4 points which the enterprise really wants to be very, very strong in its communication with. One, it really needs to be able to communicate about engaging with the customer, is able to engage effectively, consistently, and with clarity with the consumer. And when it is doing all of this, it has to have a scenario that the entire journey of a consumer and a customer is managed with a lot amount of clarity of thought and a lot amount of, I should say, ease of activity, right? There is no push, there is no pull, it's very seamless.
It's organic.
It's very organic, right? As if somebody is talking to you, right? It can't, like, I cannot be doing predetermined conversations with you, I have to go with the flow. Similarly, a brand needs to talk effectively around there. And that's what the journey is, and that's what creates a kick-ass customer experience platform or customer experience service there.
Absolutely. And speaking on that seamlessness, when we look at the seamless brand experience, there are a lot of moving parts there. So I want to understand from you, how does Root Mobile kind of support businesses in this regard in terms of creating such an effective strategy and creating contextually and timely, real-time relevant communications with its customer? How does it make it all seamless for its customers?
Absolutely. See, what happens is when a customer, first and foremost, you have to realize that in our space, unlike most other areas, we work with PII data, right? That means the mobile number or an email address, and identified customer data is there with the brand. And hence, we are communicating on behalf of the brand, and hence we are custodian of that data in a way, right? So data privacy becomes very, very critical. Right kind of journeys to be built for the consumer. He should first touch an SMS and then an email or then a voice or then an OTT channel like an RCS or a WhatsApp has to be defined by the brand as to how do I reach out to the consumer. Analytics is extremely critical for the brand. What is the most optimal way to route, right? Even if you look at India, there are 4 different operators. Each of the operators has a different SLA, has a different service levels. How do I really pick and choose on a real time, least cost routing to ensure my SMS is seamlessly getting delivered, right? So there are nuances which a brand needs to take care. But when they work with somebody like us, our job is to ensure that we make that experience for that enterprise very, very seamless, right? And each of these points that I mentioned, which is associated to either data or about optimal journeys or about analytics post the campaign, all of that is what we kind of support and enable an enterprise while it is talking to its consumer.
Absolutely. That's a great segue to my next question, which is measuring and analyzing the effectiveness of a lot of these strategies, especially when it comes to the outreach and engagement with customers. How do you help your customers analyze what they're doing and whether they're doing it right? And any strategies that you could share for our viewers as to how to measure and analyze effectively these communication strategies?
Absolutely. So let's take an example of say an insurance company. Obviously, I don't want to kind of name it, but you and I are both users of, say, annual medical insurance, and my insurance is due towards Feb, March, somewhere around there, when the tax becomes kind of, all the tax filing becomes due at the corporate level or at an individual level. How does a brand or an insurance company communicate with me? Maybe first sends me an SMS, then sends me an email, 2 days prior gives me a call, or just sends me a dialer right? All these are seamless journey that a brand kind of builds it up, right? While it is doing, what are the areas that they need to really look at? Are my engagement channels effective? Am I having sufficient call pickups? Are my emails being read, or are there just a bounce off there? There could be conversion data. Well, the person to whom I send a message, he has actually bought the insurance. There could be browsing data. He looked and spent 10 minutes on the email that I sent to him, but did not complete the transaction. Can I re-engage back with him, right? There could be things like first time right? Time to resolve an issue if you take a customer care. So based on the use case, whether it is a marketing or a customer engagement or a customer care kind of a service, the KPIs would change, but by and large, these are the 3-4 of them: channel analytics, campaign analytics, consumer analytics, customer care analytics are 3-4 areas in which typically the KPIs are measured.
All right. Another subset of this question is the fact that when we look at, say, the increasing channels of communication, right, and we advocate omni-channel communication strategies, a lot of your customers might be in regulatory heavy sectors
Correct.
or compliance heavy sectors, or it both. So when we look at regulatory considerations or compliance requirements, what are the things that brands need to keep in mind when they approach omni-channel communication strategies, and how does Root Mobile support its customers in this regard?
So there would be, by and large, I would say about 3 buckets in which this whole compliance bit would fall. One is more on the data privacy or a spam, anti-spam. Part of it could be government regulated, could it be enterprise regulated, right? That's one area. Second could be more the lawful interception, and the data needs to be in the locales of the country, and those kind of pure regulatory elements. Third could be more about the OTT players. These days RCS and WhatsApp also have their own norms in terms of I should only do opt-in customer communication and so on and so forth, right? So broadly, the whole environment, I would cater in these 3 broad buckets. As a company, and when our brands and enterprises work with us, we help them in each one of them, right? So what does it mean? Can the platform of ours do easy opt-out for a consumer, for a brand? Let's say, same insurance company example, I'm tired of receiving their emails. I say, I want to opt out of this communication. If he clicks out and opt out, does my platform seamlessly takes him out of the mailing list thereafter? In India, it's okay, but in US,
you have to be very,
very careful, right? That's one example. Second could be, there is a regulatory environment as to how much time the data should be kept in your environs, in your platforms, whatever, 60 days, 90 days, 150 days, based on the regulatory and the rule of the land, and that needs to be followed. Third thing, which is, if you look at in India specifically, I can give an example. TRAI is very, very strong in the DND part, do not disturb part of it, and they have very strong templates associated to that, right? So how does template management creation becomes very easy and seamless for a brand and holistically maintained at one place, right? So imagine a brand having 200 templates on its SMS platform, and okay, now I'm going to use this template to send this message is a very tricky find, right? So 3 buckets, all supported in the platform is where we come from.
Absolutely, and it becomes even trickier if you are a conglomerate with numerous businesses, but you still want everything harmonized to one set.
And then 3 different use cases, right? You use it for marketing, for customer care, and for engagement.
Which is where you have to weave the data DNA across your organization to make sure that all the ducks, as they say, are in a row. All right, before we sign off, Milind, just want to hear your thoughts on the big event. Root Mobile is hosting Root Amplify on the 9th of August. So what can participants expect from this event? What are going to be the key themes in your opinion?
So first and foremost, it's a flagship event that we're coming up with. We have been getting a lot of feelers from all our partners, customers, that we want to place a safe space where people can come across, look at what is up there in either you use the right word data space or in the CPaaS space. And data, what I mean is how to use the data for the right marketing, communication, engagement, customer care purposes. So there is, for lack of a better word, a lot of manthan expected to happen there in terms of conversations around data, CPaaS amongst various stakeholders who would come in. The second part is we are also looking at helping consumers know what are some of the tools which they can look at from a perspective of using it for their journeys, right? It's the tools availability. It is not, I would say, a product per se. For sure it's a product, but it is not saying that it's an amalgamation of thoughts which really goes around there, right? It's the power of infinite thinking on the product which makes it successful rather than the product in itself, right? Because we don't sell mobile phones which have got specific sets of features. We sell products which eventually a consumer or a brand has to convert into a solution for its end use, right?
In a sense, you sell ideas.
We sell ideas, right? And that's the power of infinite thinking. So, and that's the reason why we chose the word amplify. It's amplification of thought, amplification of ideas. It's 1 and 1 is 11 rather than 1 and 1 is 2. So we are very excited, and we hope to make it a year after year affair going forward, and hope 9th August is fun.
Well, wishing you all the best, and you can experience the power of infinite thinking as all routes lead to Root Amplify on the 9th of August. But with that, it's a wrap on this episode of Tech Talks Navigating Digital Transformation with Milind Pathak. Milind, thank you so much for joining us for this conversation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and thank you to our viewers for tuning in. See you next time.
CNBC-TV18 and Root Mobile present TED Talks Navigating Digital Transformation.